So strategy number one is from stuck to starting. This framework is all about helping you overcome fear. So I don't want you to think of fear as a horrible thing. Fear is actually confirmation that you care, right? If you didn't give a shit about this, you wouldn't be afraid of it. But the fact that you really do care about this thing that you want to do, this goal you have, of course you're going to feel fear. However, when we analyze our problems from fear, we go to these worst case scenarios that have not even happened yet. And those keep us stuck. So for example, if you're like, "Oh, I know I want to start a business, but what's my family going to think? Oh my gosh, I can already hear my tias talking at the dinner table about, oh, quien se cree." And like you haven't even started and you literally, your thoughts and your fear have already stopped you from it. It's already gone to worst case scenario. Welcome to the Chingona Revolution podcast, where we will bring out your inner badass Latina, overcome self-doubt, help you gain clarity, and pave your own path, all while leading with courage. I am your host, Latina coach and speaker, Erica Cruz. Hello. Welcome back to this week's episode of Chingona Revolution podcast. If you've been listening to the recent episodes, then you know that I was hosting a webinar called The 90-Day Manifestation Path to Courage, Career Pivots, and Entrepreneurship. And if you did not get a chance to sign up for the webinar and miss the webinar, which happened on July 14th, then have no fear, because I am about to share the recording from that webinar. It was such an engaging webinar. We had amazing attendees. Over 100 people registered for the webinar and people were very engaged. It was, I've hosted a lot of webinars, but this one was just, I feel like I was energetically there. I also think because we were talking about manifestation, which is something that has been near and dear to my heart, it was just a very aligned class. So if you have been looking for the courage to start the business, post the content, start the side hustle, pivot in your career, and maybe you are seeing other people live their dreams and you're thinking, okay, manifestation works for them, but why is it not working for me? This webinar is going to go over how to make manifestation work for you. At the end of the webinar, I also tell you more about my program, Courage Driven Latina, which is officially open for enrollment. We haven't opened enrollment for this program since the beginning of the year, but this enrollment is extra special for many reasons. First, Courage Driven Latina, my signature program, turns 5 this month. This is not a new program where I'm kind of figuring out what works and what doesn't. This is a program with real results. Over 275 women have gone through this program. And there's also a proven framework. And in the webinar, I talk about specific strategies, which are going to be valuable for you, whether you want to start a business or don't want to start a business, or if you already have a business and you're looking to grow your business, it's still going to be relevant to you. But a lot of the strategies that I share inside of the webinar are strategies that are built into Courage Driven Latina. So they've been tested over and over and over again. So if you have been waiting for me to open doors for Courage Driven Latina, join today, because I'm also donating 10% of all of the July Courage Driven Latina sales to a nonprofit that supports immigrant children. It's called the Young Center for Immigrant Rights, and they support children when it comes to ensuring they have legal representation if they have to go to court. They advocate for children to ensure that they aren't separated from their families. With everything going on with the immigrant community being targeted so much, I really wanted this enrollment to be double good, right? Where you are working towards your dreams, but you're also giving back to a cause that you care about, that's meaningful to you. So if you've been thinking, okay, I'm waiting for the right time, now is the perfect time to join. All right, let's get into this webinar. And if you know you want to join us inside of Courage Driven Latina, go to couragedrivenlatina.com, where you can schedule a consult call to talk to me. So if you're like, I know I want to join, but I have questions, schedule a call to talk to me. It's a no commitment call. We figure out if it's a good fit for you. And if you know that you want to sign up, then you can just go to Courage Driven Latina and sign up there. But don't wait, don't delay, because the doors do close in about a week. So doors will be closing on July 23rd, and we will not open doors again until the end of the year. And I just want to remind you, we're halfway through 2025. If the beginning of the year hasn't gone your way, it's not too late to turn it around. You can still make 2025 your year, but you have to act now. All right, let's get into the webinar. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 90-Day Manifestation Path webinar. This webinar is going to cover how to manifest entrepreneurship, courage, or career pivots without feeling like you are scared, stuck, or overwhelmed. Honestly, not feeling scared is a little bit of a lie. You're still going to feel scared, but we're going to teach you how to overcome that fear today. And this webinar is sponsored by Courage Driven Latina, which is my signature group program, and it happens to turn 5 this month. Very exciting. So this is a completely free webinar. It's a completely free workshop. At the end, you'll learn more about Courage Driven Latina. I will let you know whenever it comes to that time. And if you're just here for the free training, that's totally fine. I'll give you a clear kind of message with like, okay, cool, free training done. Moving on to talking about Courage Driven Latina. All right, so you are in the right place if you identify as the purpose-hungry professional. So maybe you've built this dream life that your family wanted for you, a steady job, benefits, maybe you even have a fancy title, and you really crave work that feels meaningful and soul-filling and aligned. But the fear of instability or the guilt of wanting more, or maybe feeling imposter syndrome, is keeping you stuck where you are, right? So you have this job and you're like, okay, I really need to be grateful for it. But at the same time, you're like, I'm actually not fulfilled here and I feel guilty that I'm not fulfilled. Or you are the CEO in hiding, which this can feel like you know that you have this kind of business idea bubbling inside of you. You may not know exactly what it is yet. Maybe it's coaching, maybe it's consulting, maybe it's content creation, or turning your passion into profit. But the fear takes over. Fear that you aren't ready yet, fear that you need more time, that you need it to be perfect. And you may identify as both of these, right? Maybe you're like, I'm ready to leave my job to start a business. And the way I want to do it is actually through creating content. So you might resonate with a little bit of all of these, or you may just be one of them. So the third ideal kind of person, or the third archetype, is the content queen who hasn't posted yet. So you have stories, you have the fire, you have the message, but fear and doubt keep you quiet. So you dream of maybe starting a podcast like I did. If you were here at the beginning, I was reading a note from 2018 when I was saying if I wasn't scared of what people would think, I would start a podcast. Well, it took me about 5 years after that, but I finally did it. So you maybe have this idea or this goal of wanting to launch a podcast or launching an Instagram page, maybe writing a book or posting consistently, but this idea of what will they think? What if I get hate comments? What are my coworkers going to think? Stops you from actually doing that. So tell me which one you are. Tell me in the chat. You can just put the numbers in, so I'll come back over here. And if you resonate with more than one, then just let me know. So and if you're listening to this on Instagram live, you can just tell us whether it's like the career one, the CEO one, or the content one. Okay, I see that there are some notes. Okay, so Christina said 1 and 2, 2, 1, 3, maybe 2. Cool. 1 and 3. None but building up 2. Yes, you are, Flaca. Good to see you. I hope everything's well. 2 and 3, 2. Okay, cool. Cool. A lot of CEOs in hiding. Okay. And here's more about you. You have big dreams, right? So whether it's launching a business, writing the book, starting the podcast, or making the bold career move, but it's overwhelming with where to begin. And you know that you're meant for more, even if you don't know exactly what more is just yet. You have so many ideas and you worry about picking the wrong path, just like I did. And you identify as the rebel in your family, right? You're the person that kind of does things a little different, maybe even the rebel of your friend group. And you have no desire to follow a path of those who came before you. You're like, I know I want to do things different, but you're still human, right? You still have this inner critic that says, what if I fail? My life isn't that bad. I should just be grateful. I have so much more than my parents did. I can't be too successful because I might lose my community. Or all of our favorites, ¿Qué va a decir la gente? What will people think or say about me? So, Flacca brought up a really good point. She said, none but growing two. So, two was all about CEO. If you already have a business, but you know that you're playing small, or you know that you wanna grow it, this is still very relevant to you. And I have examples further down in the presentation. So, what is it that you want? I mean, over 100 of you signed up for this webinar because there's something here that you're looking for. And what that is, it's to manifest your dream life, whether that means growing your business, whether that means creating the content, pivoting in your career, whatever it is that you're looking to do, at the end of the day, you want it to manifest your dream life. So maybe this looks like securing an aligned job that pays you more but gives you flexibility, creating the content, as I said, launching your podcast, being confident on your life path regardless of what other people think. So rather than worrying about, oh, what choice am I going to make? What are people going to think? You are just so confident in what it is that you're doing that it doesn't matter, right? You're so aligned with your life's work that it doesn't matter what other people think. Maybe you want to do something like me and become a coach and change people's lives. Or, like a lot of you just told me, you maybe want to start the purpose driven business. Because the thing about women, especially women of color, is that typically when we make money, when we start businesses, it's very rarely for a selfish reason. Usually it's a purpose driven business, or there's some type of meaning behind it. And at the end of the day, you want peace and fulfillment knowing that your life's work is meaningful, just like the rest of my clients. So we've helped many, many clients manifest their dream life in 90 days. And let's get into some of the examples. So here's Yesenia, who had the dream of becoming a website developer, a website builder. And here she's saying, hey, I finally launched my client's website. Thanks for encouraging me. Then we have Claudia here, who is really working on content. And if you are all watching this on on Instagram Live, go to my stories. I have the Zoom link because the people on Zoom are actually seeing what I'm sharing, or you can just listen here if you'd like. But Claudia is working on content, and here you can see that her reach grew on TikTok as well as Instagram, and she's happy to create again. And then here, one of my clients, this is an analogy that we use inside the program, a sugar daddy job. Don't worry, there's no real sugar daddy. It's a job. It's just the job that pays the bills. But she said she ended up pivoting her career and receiving a $5,000 salary increase, which was huge because she went from being a lawyer to doing something totally different. And then we've got Vanessa here that landed her first speaking engagement and can't stress how amazing this was for her. And then we've got Kay, who happens to be my kickboxing instructor. You're going to learn more about her later, but she ended up booking out her coaching services as well as really started prioritizing herself. And then we've got Tanya, who has been a teacher and has had a lot of doubt around parent teacher interviews. And she's like, yep, these were the best ones yet. And then one thing about Tanya, I've known her for a little while. When she first came to me, she was like, I've never really dated before. And she's actually getting married in 15 days. So she's engaged. Her like project was first work, and then we worked on a dating project for her. So what I'm going to teach you is really going to help you manifest really your dream life, whether this is again business, career, or romance. I meant to add a little point in here and I forgot, but right now that I saw her name, I was like, let me tell you all this. So who am I? Who's the person on the other side of this Zoom screen or Instagram Live? My name is Erica Cruz. I think some of you know who I am. Others, maybe somebody sent you this webinar. So thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate you being here and spending time with me. I know that your time is very valuable, so I want to make sure that the next hour is packed with information for you. I'm the host of the Chingona Revolution podcast. I've supported over 275 clients in reaching their life and business goals with my proven framework, which I'm going to teach you about today. And then we will also talk to you a little bit more about my story and how I was in your place as well, just not too long ago. So back to you. What you want is you want to manifest your dream life, but why is it not happening? The reason this is not happening is because you believe, I say this with a lot of love, you believe there's something wrong with you. You're thinking manifestation works for others, but it doesn't work for me. So you think that you're stuck and you have this deep belief that you are just stuck and you're waiting for things to change outside of you to feel unstuck. So how do I know that you believe you're stuck? You do research, but you have a hard time taking the action, right? Or maybe you're taking small actions, but you're not really taking massive action. You compare yourself to others that are taking action on your goals and dreams. So maybe you're watching people like I used to watch people who had a podcast and be like, damn, there's no room for me. She already did it. And then you also question if you're good or smart enough for your goals. So questioning, are people going to pay for me to help them? Who am I to charge this? I don't know enough yet. Maybe you're thinking, oh, I need another degree. I need it to be perfect before I can actually start. You can't stop thinking about this passion project, but maybe you keep it to yourself. So you're like, oh, I know I have this goal, but like, let me not share it because I'm not sure. And the thing is that you're waiting and waiting until you are less busy. But are you ever going to be less busy? No, not really. You're waiting to get another certification, thinking that a certification is going to give you confidence, or you're waiting for more clarity. But the thing is that you don't gain clarity from literally sitting there and thinking. You gain clarity by taking the first few steps. So, what is the solution to the problem of believing that you are stuck? The solution is it's actually that you're not stuck, you're simply scared. And again, I say this one with a lot of love because I was in your shoes not too long ago. And courage is what leads to manifesting your dream life. I think there's this misconception about manifestation that it's really about just, telling the universe what it is that you desire, and that's part of it. But it also requires courage on your end, developing the skill of courage. And I just want to take a moment to acknowledge fear, right? Because I'm really like saying something bold here. You're not stuck, you're actually scared. And the fear is so valid because our culture has historically and recently been instilled with a lot of fear. So, why is it that women feel fear? Well, the thing is that a lack of courage isn't a personal flaw. It doesn't mean you're not a brave person. It's really often rooted in systemic and cultural barriers, right? So like even just internally in family, where our culture sometimes, which we love our culture, but there's also things that we want to poke holes at, like this. Many Latinas and women of color grow up in environments that prioritize survival over self-expression, right? So we're raised with these cultural expectations to play it safe, avoid risk taking, to, calladita te ves más bonita, women should be seen and not heard, and all these different messages that we hear. And then, even more recently, the ICE raids in LA that have left our community literally afraid of being seen and causing so many in our community to hide. And this is not new. This is something that's been going on for generations. And research shows that trauma is passed down through 3 generations. So if your grandparents were undocumented and had the fear of being deported and separated from their family, and they were literally hiding to survive, no wonder it's hard for you to show up for your business. No wonder it's hard for you to create content. So this fear is so valid and it's so not your fault. And if you do find yourself in a situation where you are undocumented and you find yourself fearing being seen, your fear is so valid. But if you're in a situation like myself where you have privilege, where you know that your community needs you to speak up, this is not a time for us to stay quiet. This is a time for us to go all in on whatever it is that you want to create. Because as I said earlier, women, specifically women of color, when we do the things that are aligned with our purpose, we're usually giving back and making this a better place. So I don't want to sound dismissive, right? With like, oh, let's just be courageous in this time of fear, because the fear is very, very valid. So I invite you to look at your personal situation and ask yourself, is this a time when I do want to take a step back and let other people in my community stand up for me and take up space? Or is this an invitation for me to step up and take up space? So what does courage even mean? Courage is actually not the absence of fear. It's feeling the fear and doing it anyway. It's taking the aligned action, even if you're not sure, right? Even if there's a possibility of failure. And the thing I want you to know is that courage runs in your blood thanks to your ancestors. If you think about just like what your parents went through, what your grandparents went through, that's courageous. And courage is also something that's created through coaching. It's really a skill that can be improved and can be learned. Just like you go to the gym and build stronger muscles, you can build the skill of courage. So, here's what happens when you manifest your dream life because you start to lead with courage. You'll apply to the job even if you're not 100% qualified. And then you can also talk to Flaca because she helps with career stuff as well. You'll start the business regardless of what other people might think because you have such a strong mission. You will feel fulfilled knowing that you're doing your life's work. So even if you're not already at your end goal, dream life, the fact that you're even just taking the step towards it, that means the anxiety you feel when you're trying to sleep or like the journaling sessions of going in loops, like that goes away because you're starting it, right? Even if you're not already at your final destination, which there never is a final destination, right? As soon as you reach that, there's like a whole nother set of goals. And then you'll also start the podcast or the Instagram page and then actually post on it, right? It's so easy for people to get started. The hard part is staying consistent. You will ask for the raise at work, even if you're questioning if you should get it. And you'll create a ripple effect in your community that dream lives are possible. You begin to really like pave the path for your younger siblings, your younger cousins, the people around you. And I think a lot of times we think, oh, I should just be grateful for what I have because my parents had so much less. But, staying in complacency is another form of survival. If our parents struggled so much to give us the opportunities we have today, why not live the most aligned, full expression of life? So the thing is that you can't wait to manifest your dream life. We think we have time, right? And I'm not saying this in like a morbid way, but tomorrow really isn't promised. So it really must be lived now. This isn't something that you want to keep putting off because remember, the problem is that you think you're stuck, and the solution is you're not stuck, you're actually scared. So, what we need to do is build the skill of courage and just get started. Because if you don't do anything now, 5 years from now, you can look back and be like, damn, I should have started. I should have started back then. And the best time to start is when you first get the idea. The second best time is now. So here's how I was able to do it. I mentioned that you were going to hear a little bit about my story. So um, let's get into that. Oh, Flaca, CDL is the reason I'm now living my true purpose and revolution. The self-coaching practice saved me so many times. Yes. Oh, we've got like a wait until you learn about the manifestation frameworks that have been added to this. All right. So here's how I was able to do this. So, as the proud daughter of Mexican immigrants, I really wanted their sacrifices to be worth it. So I went to the best school that I could get into. Honestly, it was a miracle I got into Cal to UC Berkeley because I was a straight C student, but thank goodness for community college because I was a transfer student. And by the time I graduated, I ended up landing a job at one of the biggest tech companies at that time. Not this one here, it was Oracle. And, I really thought that I was going to be happy and fulfilled because I was living the American dream, right? I was like, okay, cool. This is literally what my parents immigrated for. I've got this big girl job now. I have a degree. And and I was like, I'm really living life. Like by the time I was 25, I was making over six figures. But instead of feeling like I was killing it on my Instagram, it looked like I was living life because here I am in Australia for work. But on the inside, I felt like my soul was dying. And the reality is, this looks like I'm having a great time here in Australia, but this is really what was going on. I was jet lagged, working nonstop, sometimes couldn't even go sightseeing at all because I was literally there for work. And, I didn't know how to get out though. I didn't know how to pivot. So I ended up staying in the tech industry for 8 years because I felt stuck. I felt stuck just like the problem I just brought up earlier. And I didn't know how to transition out. I really thought that there was something wrong with me because everybody else that I knew that started in tech around the same time, they were getting promotions, they were making waves, they were going to different companies, they were starting teams. And I just felt like I was going to be in tech forever. And I was starting to really lose that drive that I had when I was younger. I feel like I'd lost my motivation. I lost my confidence. I didn't know, like, I really feel like I hit a dead end. I had just called off an engagement. I was like, I'm going to die alone in this stupid tech job, making, like, I'm never going to make more money than this right now. And I'm just going to, like, my soul has died here. Let's just, like, hit a little burial for it. And, and then the pandemic hit. So here I am with a mask during the pandemic. And that's when it hit. I realized that nobody was going to come save me. Nobody, right? And that a perfect time actually did not exist because healthy people were dying. And I was like, tomorrow is not promised. And I realized I wasn't even stuck. I was literally scared. I was scared of what people would think of me. I was scared of being judged. I was scared of failing publicly. So after that, I made a decision and I started to create more content. And that content ended up resonating with people. And it didn't happen overnight. I mean, I had tried to create content in the past. I mean, I tried so many times, but I had all the thoughts. And my content ended up really resonating with people on TikTok. And people started asking if I could coach them. I didn't even know what coaching was at the time. But then I ended up joining a group coaching program where I was a student, and I was like, this is exactly what I want to do for women of color specifically, for Latinas and for other women of color. And that's when I created Purpose Driven Latina. Now the program's called Courage Driven Latina. A lot has happened over the last 5 years. But from there, like, this is really when I started to learn and practice the skill of courage. And again, that's what led me to create content, host free classes like the one I'm having right now, launch this program. And then eventually I ended up leaving the tech industry and I was featured on the front page of the Sunday Business New York Times because I left tech and I manifested my dream life. Never could have this version of me known that this was going to happen, right? And some of you are waiting to know exactly what this is. We can't know that yet. You literally just need the courage to move to the next step and the next one, and that leads you on the path. So you might be thinking, okay, Erica, easy for you to say you've got a podcast, you've been running a business for 5 years, and this worked for you, but is it going to work for me? So here's how I've helped my clients manifest their dream life in 90 days. And this is what happens when you build courage. So Kay went from thinking about starting a business for 10 years to booking out in 90 days. Nancy walked away from a law career to a fulfilling new role that actually ended up paying her more. Olivia went from being a poetry lover to a published poetry author. How exciting. And then Anaí went from being a podcast listener to a podcast host. And they manifested their lives by building this skill of courage in 90 days. Are they done here? No. Anaí ended up like working with me again. She ended up joining the program again because she is now looking to grow the podcast and create other content, right? So one project or one kind of goal usually leads you to another one. And you may be thinking something I mentioned earlier, manifestation works for them, but is it going to work for me? And yes, you simply need to learn the formula for manifestation. So let's do a quick recap. What you want is to manifest your dream life, whether that's starting the business, pivot your career, create content, find the love of your life. And what's stopping you is that you believe there's something wrong with you. Maybe you believe that manifestation works for other people, but not for you. So you have this belief that you are stuck and you're just blocked. But the solution is that you're actually not stuck. You're simply scared. And that's not horrible, right? Because courage, which means taking action despite fear, is what leads to manifesting your dream life. And the way you're going to do that is with the skill of courage, which could be learned, and a manifestation framework, which also can be learned. All right, so let's get into the strategies, how to manifest your dream life. So strategy number one is from stuck to starting. This framework is all about helping you overcome fear. So I don't want you to think of fear as a horrible thing. Fear is actually confirmation that you care, right? If you didn't give a shit about this, you wouldn't be afraid of it. But the fact that you really do care about this thing that you want to do, this goal you have, of course you're going to feel fear. However, when we analyze our problems from fear, we go to these worst case scenarios that have not even happened yet. And those keep us stuck. So for example, if you're like, oh, I know I want to start a business, but what's my family gonna think? Oh my gosh, I can already hear my tias talking at the dinner table about oh quien se cree, and like you haven't even started, and you literally your thoughts and your fear have already stopped you from it. It's already gone to worst case scenario. Or if you're like, oh, I want to create content, and you like maybe start taking the steps towards creating content, then your brain goes to wait, what if you get a hate comment? Oh my gosh, people are totally going to laugh at you. Yeah, don't do that, right? Your brain is stopping you from doing this because of fear. So this framework helps you get out of your head and into action because a lot of times fear makes us fail before we've even started. So before implementing the stuck to starting framework, you're going to be paralyzed by fear, fear of failure, fear of what others might say. You're going to feel overwhelmed with too many ideas. So you don't take action. So you think you just need clarity, but usually when you're overwhelmed with too many ideas, there's this fear that you actually don't trust yourself. You're going to maybe be stuck doing research and consuming information, thinking you need to get another degree or a certification so that you can feel unstuck. And then maybe you compare yourself to others who have clarity and are taking action. And instead of motivating you, that's actually demotivating you. And then you just second guess every move. You really start to question everything. You're not trusting yourself. But after implementing this strategy, which part of it is what Flaka mentioned in the chat about, what saved her, that part of that framework is built into here. But after, you're going to find safety. You're going to make a decision without overthinking. You're going to finally take action and then feel proud of yourself that you're taking action. You're going to trust that you are already enough and that you don't need an extra certification to start. If you want to get one later, great, but you don't need it to start. Stop letting it be a roadblock. You're going to be so focused on your own goals and what you're doing that you're not going to worry what other people are doing. And then you are going to trust yourself with your decisions, and you're really just going to feel at peace. Like that's really what this whole thing is about. A lot of us are so stuck in survival and just in this fear that it's possible to find peace and allow that to help you move forward. I talked about Kay being my kickboxing instructor. She was really stuck with fear. So when I met her, she had this goal for 10 years, as I mentioned. She wanted to take on one-on-one clients for kickboxing, but she was scared and she was stuck. And she said, these are literally quotes from her. I have all my clients fill out a plan. These are quotes from her plan. She says, somebody may not like me and ask for a refund for their sessions. The price might be too high. There may not be any interest at all. But after implementing the stuck to starting framework, she went from thinking about this business for 10 years to not launching it in 90 days. And then when she launched, she sold out of sessions. She actually had to stop doing the one-on-ones and she had to start doing small groups because she literally didn't have enough time to do the one-on-ones. The doors to Courage Driven Latina are officially open. This is my signature group program designed to help you stop overthinking and finally take action on that dream that's been tugging at your heart. Whether you are looking to launch a business, start a podcast, pivot in your career, or build unshakable confidence, this program has supported over 275 women in doing exactly that. And the best part is, while the framework is designed to help you get results in just 90 days, you'll get support for a full 12 months. Imagine who you could become 1 year from now, starting with one decision today. If you want to show up as a completely different version of yourself next year, then your work starts right now. Enrollment closes on July 23rd, and this round is extra special because I'm donating 10% of July sales from Courage Driven Latina to the Young Center for Immigrant Children's Rights, which is a nonprofit that provides legal representation and volunteer advocates for immigrant children. So if you've been on the fence, this is your sign. This round isn't just about stepping into your purpose. It's also about giving back to our community. Go to couragedrivenlatina.com to secure your spot or to book a consult call. But don't wait. Your courage is calling and the doors are closing on July 23rd. I'll see you on the other side. All right, strategy number 2. This one is the 90-day manifestation map. So this is a manifestation meets action method, and it's really like powered by courage. So again, manifestation is not about sitting there just like hoping and wishing. It's also about moving forward. And the thing is that obstacles are going to happen, right? Like if you want to manifest abundance, you better believe the universe is going to throw some scarcity at you. So obstacles will happen. And this manifestation map and plan includes an obstacle plan so that when you hit a roadblock, you already have a plan. You already know what to do and you're not going to give up on it. So before the 90-day manifestation map, you won't believe that you can actually become an entrepreneur or a creator. Like you're gonna doubt yourself. Maybe you have some belief. Maybe you're like, oh, it's possible, but not now. So like there's some doubt there that you can even manifest the thing you want to manifest. Maybe you are trying to do so many things at once that you get overwhelmed and you stop taking action. So perhaps, yeah, you're taking action, but you're busy, but you're not productive. You question every step you take, you look for validation from others, and then you feel anxious and directionless before having a manifestation map. And then you maybe question, right? See, manifestation works for others, but it doesn't work for me. But after implementing this, you're going to take consistent, aligned action instead of stopping and starting. Your business or content idea is going to be tied to something that is so much bigger than you, and it's going to be tied to your purpose that it's going to make it so exciting to come to life because you have such a strong why. Because manifestation is all about what's best for the greater good. Like if what you're trying to manifest is stealing from others, the universe is not going to conspire to help you, right? Like whatever you like whatever higher power, whatever name you use for higher power, like God's not going to help you to go like screw someone over, right? Like Mother Earth isn't going to be like, "Oh yeah, let's be evil here." So it's really about the greater good. And when you have your business or content idea tied to your bigger purpose, it's so much easier to make it come to life. You also will have a clear and structured manifestation plan so you know exactly where to focus your energy and what not to focus on. Because remember, where your attention goes, energy flows. You are going to feel at peace knowing that you're working with the universe, with God, with source to reach your goals. Again, fill in the blank here because I mean a higher power. So let's get through. If I actually have, because again, I want you to see that manifestation works for anything, whether it's career, business, content. I have 3 different client examples for this because I really wanted you all to see how this can work no matter where you're at. So here's Yaz. Yaz was actually just on the podcast. She came to me knowing that she wanted to create content, but she was really inconsistent and she was actually having a lot of thoughts about content. She was like, is this actually good for the community? Should I be posting content? And what she came to was content's just a tool. Yeah, it can be used negatively, but it can also be used beautifully, right? Like we're all here because of my content. And she decided that the first thing she was going to work on was for the 90-day manifestation map. The first thing she worked on was creating content. And she was so consistent that first she got a free collaboration and then she landed a paid collaboration. And then she did this again and she actually ended up hosting an in-person event. And she also knew that she wanted to start a business, but she didn't know what kind. I was reading her entry survey and she joined not that long ago. And now she's officially launched her wellness coaching business. She has paid clients. She already had somebody re-sign because they loved working with her. So 6 months ago, when she came to me, she hadn't done any of this. And she's landed paid collaboration, hosted in-person events, and figured out what kind of business she wanted when at the beginning, she didn't even know what kind she wanted. So if you're sitting here thinking, oh, I need to know exactly what it is that I want, Yaz is proof that you don't. I didn't even know what I wanted. Like I was reading this to you all earlier about how I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but I knew I wanted to start a podcast at some point. Okay, Nancy is a Latina lawyer, a money guru, as well as a Latina in tech. And she spent 10 years as an attorney, which is awesome, right? Because there's only 2% of Latinas in the field. But deep down, she was like, I've outgrown this. Like, I think I want more. So, using the 90-day manifestation map strategy, she was actually able to transition out of her role in a strategic way instead of just on impulse, instead of just like quitting. And she said, I was holding on to an identity that I was no longer aligned with. And once I worked on trusting myself, which is part of the manifestation map, I could pivot. I could make the decision to pivot without fear. And the thing is, she didn't just change her career, she literally changed her life. And then this is another example. So for I was mentioning at the beginning for Flaca how there's this will also work if you already have a business. So Rebecca is the CEO of Axiom of Purpose, and when I met Rebecca, she already had a six-figure marketing agency. But the reason she came to me is because she had lost her motivation and she didn't know how to get the confidence back. And after implementing the 90-day manifestation map, she was able to really heal and process where it was that she felt stuck. Check out these results. She ended up doubling her sales in the first 6 months of the year. So, like, right now we're January through June would be the first 6 months of the year. She made double the amount of sales between January and June than she did all of last year. She also lost weight and grew her confidence. And then she had a $70,000 week. Again, she already had a business. So I don't want to like set expectations or I'm not telling you, oh my gosh, you're gonna join and tomorrow you're gonna make 70K. But if you already have a business and you just have blocks, things can happen for you. Like things that feel unrealistic are actually very realistic. So she made $70,000 in a week. She ended up writing a book because part of her what she was doing for healing was actually writing, and now she is working on a second business. I'm actually going to tell you what it is because now they have an Instagram. The last time I shared this it was confidential, I couldn't share it, but her second business, it's called Salty Bitches. It's great. And it is a subscription salt box to bring community together. And it has things like recipe cards for cocktails and mocktails, but it's really community building. And look them up on Instagram. It's great. All right. So those were my three examples for the manifestation map. Do-do-do. Let's get into the accountability loop. So this is the third strategy. Remember earlier I was saying it's easy for people to get started, but it's hard for people to stay consistent. So the accountability loop is a cycle of support, check-ins, and reflections to keep you consistent. It combines personal motivation with external accountability. And when somebody's counting on you, you're more likely to show up, not just for them, but for you. So imagine this. Imagine you told a friend, hey, tomorrow we're going to go running at 6 a.m. You're going to show up, right? If your friend set their alarm and you know you're going to go. But if you tell yourself, tomorrow we're going to go running at 6 a.m., it's so much easier to hit that snooze button when it's just you. And it's the same thing with our goals. So before the accountability loop, you're going to go from not following through on what you say you're going to do. So like you'll say something or you'll make a plan and then it won't actually happen. Maybe you're going to let family members' opinions get to you, right? Like maybe you share, oh, I have a dream of like starting a business or creating content, and then their own limiting beliefs are thrown on you. And then you just like don't keep going. You'll procrastinate. So maybe you're like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this. And then you just get distracted with other things. Maybe you start and you stop and you're inconsistent, or you feel ashamed that you're not following through. After implementing the accountability loop, you're going to take consistent aligned action instead of stopping and starting. You're going to be focused, supported, and disciplined. And then you're going to have a community of like-minded women that are cheering you on and holding you accountable. But the best part is you also have guidance each step of the way. It's not just like figure it out yourself, throwing you into the deep end. And here's a perfect example. Anaí, she's the host of the Querida Latina podcast. And when she joined my program, she knew she wanted to launch a podcast. But she was worried that nobody would listen or care about what she had to say. It was something she kept delaying. But thanks to the accountability loop, she kept going. And some of her first guests were actually her accountability partners. And today, Anai's podcast is on season 2. And she also rejoined the program, and now she's working on growing her podcast. So let's do a recap because I threw a lot at you. You want to manifest your dream life. What's stopping you is that you believe there's something wrong with you. Manifestation works for others, but not for you. So you believe you're stuck. But you're not stuck. You're simply scared. And while the fear is so valid, you can lean into courage. And courage leads to manifesting your dream life. And the way that you're going to do that is by learning the skill of courage, which can be learned, as well as the manifestation framework. The strategies that we just went over were the stuck to start framework. That one's all about helping you get unblocked. And then there's the 90-day manifestation path. This one is all about the step-by-step how you're going to do this. Really working with your higher self, working without hustling too much, like really understanding the manifestation principles so that you can reach your goals. And then the accountability loop is that thing that keeps you going. Because again, everybody can start, but can you stay consistent? So those are the 3 strategies. All right, so you might be thinking, okay, cool, Erica, this all sounds good. This sounds great. It worked for you. It worked for all these women. Can I do this? You can. I know you can. So the best way to manifest your dream life, as well as implement these three strategies, is with a courage project inside of Courage Driven Latina. So all these strategies fit into a courage project. I told you at the beginning of the presentation that this webinar was sponsored by Courage Driven Latina, and I was going to go through the training portion. I've taught you what it is I want to teach you. So now I'm going to talk to you about Courage Driven Latina, and I would love to invite you, because Courage Driven Latina is a transformational group program to help you execute your project in 90 days. So whatever goal you have, we're going to help you do that in 90 days, not in 6 months, not in a year. And you really will manifest your dream life using a courage project, as well as using my manifestation frameworks. When you join, you get immediate access to the program, which is an online course, but you also get weekly live coaching with me, as well as bonus workshops. The question I always get is, do I have to be Latina? No. Kay, my kickboxing instructor, she's like half Filipino. So she's not Latina, but she's like all this. She's so funny. She's like, this shit's the same, because I see her whenever I go to kickboxing. And then we have somebody else named Joy who's in the program, and she's absolutely killing it. She's African American, and she's writing a book, killing it in the program. And then what's so exciting is that this program turns 5 this month. So this program is a program with real results and a proven framework, not something I'm kind of exploring or experimenting or figuring out if this works. And everything I taught you today, all those strategies fit into what we call a courage project. And it's how we manifest your dream life. So it's this step-by-step plan that helps you reach your goals in 90 days. It has to excite you, scare the heck out of you, make the world a better place, and it changes your life in 90 days. What are some examples of this? I mean, a lot of you had interest in business, right? So obviously growing a business, starting a business, but also pivoting your career to a new industry, building the confidence to date, growing your self-love, build community. I had a girl who joined the program, and she ended up starting a running group for women because it was dangerous for women to run on trails on their own. Like some women unfortunately went missing. So she created this community of women who go run together on the trail. And it turned into this like amazing thing. And that led her to like more business opportunities. She ended up becoming a running coach. Very cool stuff. I have another client who solo traveled. That was what she worked on. Somebody else moved abroad. A bunch of people negotiated their salary. And then like really it can be anything that you dream of, because your dream life can be anything. What the project helps you with is the structure, the accountability, and the manifestation plan to help you get to where you want to go. So it usually takes 12 months, only takes 12 weeks with a courage project. And I would love to invite you to either secure your spot or schedule a call by going to couragedrivenlatina.com. I think my team is going to put the link in the chat too, so you can just click on it. But Let me tell you more about the program. So within the first 30 days of joining this program, you're going to go from having an idea to manifesting your dream life with this courage project. You're going to go from doubting yourself to building this unshakable confidence and learning the tools to deal with self-doubt, with any obstacles. You're going to go from fearing failure to having a plan, right, for these obstacles. You're going to be worried about what your distant family or coworkers might think about you, to having such a solid support system that you don't even think about them. Like, you really aren't going to think about them once you get started and you're doing such meaningful work. You're going to go from procrastinating and putting things off to changing your life with a solid plan in 90 days. So let's take a look inside the program. Before I move forward, I'm pretty sure I have a slide here, but I got this question a few times, even before the webinar. People asked, hey, like, what's up with the 90 days? And then is it a year or is it 90 days? So you actually get access to this program for an entire year, but your results will happen in 90 days. So let's look inside. What is inside of the Courage Driven Latina curriculum? The first milestone, the first thing that we look at is learning the skill of courage. Remember, on the webinar today, I told you courage is a skill that can be learned and we can build it. And then also learning the tools to overcome self-doubt. So this is the section where you're going to learn courage, where you're going to learn that the stuck to starting framework, and you're really going to overcome the fear, because that's the first thing we need to do. And then the first official milestone is the step-by-step guide to picking your courage project, as well as helping you find clarity. So if you don't know what you want to work on yet, these are the videos that are going to help you with that. But so will the coaching calls, right? So you get immediate access to all of this. Even like, okay, what do you do whenever your friends and family or partner don't support your goals? If you still don't know what to pick, watch this video. And then milestone 2 is helping you complete your plan, and then you submit it, and then you get feedback from me within 72 hours. So it's not like you're just going to fall through the cracks. It's not like we're just pushing you out and saying, good luck, here are some videos. No, there's a lot of engagement. There's a lot of interaction. I review your courage, your plan, and I give you a video back, giving you feedback on it. That's a kind of newer feature. So if you've ever attended one of my webinars, here's the plan. And then milestone 3 is all about videos for specific project types. So if you know that career is what you want to work on, we have a section for you. If you know you want to start a business, we have the entrepreneurship section. We also have the content section. And if you're like, I just need to build some confidence, we have a confidence section as well. We even have things like social media workshop, a course on confidence, things like that. So the thing is that a lot of my clients actually expressed interest in starting a podcast, whether they wanted to build their brand or grow their business. And my podcast has completely transformed my life and my business. I'm sure a lot of you have connected with me because of my podcast. So because of that, we ended up adding a podcast course inside of the program that you get immediate access to. This one was created by my podcast manager. I actually paid her to come in. I was like, all right, let's help my clients do this because you're the expert. So we brought her in and she did the course, which you get immediate access to. So have people actually created a podcast? Yes, a lot of people have. So Jess created the podcast, The Vida I Wish I Knew Then. Tatiana created She Is Resilient podcast. And then this is my favorite part. 3 girls from the program a couple years ago created LIT, Latinas in Transformation. And then Anaí, you just learned about her a second ago with the Querida Latina podcast. So all of these have come out of the program. Here is if you want to work on your career or on becoming a CEO, we've got specific videos for you as well. Milestone 4 is all about staying consistent, right? So it's the accountability loop portion. So if you are worried that you won't have time or that you're busy or that you're going to get stuck, we have resources for that to keep you on track. Milestone 5 is helping you, once you're done with your project, helping you pick your next one. Because again, you're not just going to have one goal. Once you're done with that, and then we help you audit your project. What went well? What didn't go well? What do we want to do differently next time? I also give you feedback on that. We have, here's one of my manifestation workshops, how to manifest your life's purpose, a morning routine workshop. I mean, we're setting boundaries, planning for the new year or quarter. We have a bunch of bonus workshops in here. Here's some of the results. 98% of the women gained more confidence after joining Courage Driven Latina. 100% have more clarity. 100% say that being in this program shifted the way they think about themselves in a positive way. And 98% say that their community and support system has heavily improved since joining the program. So I just took you through the course. And yeah, you get immediate access to the course, but you also get weekly live coaching calls, just like right now, right? We're all in a Zoom meeting. I'm mostly doing the talking right now, but imagine that, you all turned your cameras on and you were like, hey, I need help with this. There's 90 minutes of weekly coaching calls with myself. If I'm ever traveling, then I have some alums that already went through the program. They're killing it. Sometimes they come and guest coach for me. And then there's also one business call per month. So you can still get business coaching on the weekly live calls, but because there was a high interest of people wanting to start businesses, I added another call. So that way we can talk just business, just strategy. You get access to those videos immediately. You get access to in-person events. Usually I make those clients only. You also get Slack support. So this is like chat support where you can ask for coaching in between calls. So let's say that we had our weekly meeting and then you were like, oh my gosh, I forgot to ask this question. You can just go into Slack and ask for coaching at any time. You get these worksheets, immediate access to the program. You also get a private podcast. So let's say that you are traveling or you stayed at work too late and you couldn't make one of the calls. We post everything onto the private podcast. So that way you can listen on the go or rewatch any of the calls. So all of this is valued at over $8,000, but the investment for the program is $2,222 if paid in full, or 5 payments of 444.4. As you can see, we like angel numbers here. So you can sign up at couragedrivenlatina.com. So you can secure your spot, but you can also schedule a consult call with me. So if you're like, you're kind of speaking my language, Erica, but I have questions, go to couragedrivenlatina.com and schedule your call. Here's what you're going to see. You're going to go to Courage Driven Latina. You're going to see this enroll now option. When you select that, you're going to see the 2 different investment options. You can pick 1 payment of $222 or 5 payments here. And then once you've selected your payment, put in your information, then you're going to see this little welcome, you're in, yay, check your email. But the other thing I want you all to know is that there's actually a bonus. So you're going to get a one-on-one manifestation call with me. And on this call, we're going to help you clarify your purpose, pick your courage project, as well as create that manifestation plan for you for the first 90 days. This bonus is like honestly worth signing up for the program. So this 48-hour bonus, you must either secure your spot or schedule your call. So if this is something that's of interest to you, even if you're not fully sure yet, if you want to talk to me, schedule your call. So yes, we're donating 10% of all July Courage Driven Latina sales to the Young Center for Immigrant Children's Rights. What do? Well, they advocate for children's wishes and best interests. They also really just advocate for children to be with their family to avoid separation. They also keep children safe and ultimately free from government custody, as well as ensure that they have access to lawyers and whatnot. They also amplify the children's voices and support safe communities. So with everything going on with the immigrant community, it felt out of alignment for me just to like sell a program. It has to be purpose driven. So that's why this month we're donating 10% of the sales. So if you've been eyeing this program and you're like, I know that I want to do it, I'm just waiting for the right time, this is like really the best time, right? Because not only are you doing something good for yourself, you're also giving back to an organization that supports immigrant children's rights. And also when you are just stepping into your own purpose and manifest your dream life, the ripple effects to the community are just incredible. Great question, Janet, about if I have had clients straight out of college. Yeah. Yes, I have. Actually, Anai, the girl who started the podcast, she was like pretty fresh out of college. And then I've had another girl who also happens to be in based in Texas. She was also straight out of college. I've probably had like 5 clients in that situation. And what the program really helped them with was figuring out direction in their professional career, as well as building confidence to like feel worthy of a job, right? Whenever like they're stepping into the workplace in such a kind of weird market. So yes, definitely. And then thank you, Christina. All right, so with over 275 alums, the number one complaint we got was how sad they were that it was over because this program was 12 weeks, only 3 months, pretty short. So that's why we extended it for a year. But you'll see results in 90 days. So you get access for a year and you see results in 90 days. But the beautiful thing about the year is that if we look at Yaz, she's been in the program for 6 months. This is the girl who didn't know what kind of business she wanted to have. The first 3 months she worked on content, and then the next 3 months she worked on starting a business, right? So like you get to work on a bunch of projects during your year inside the program. So what has happened now that it's been happening for a year, for a couple years, the results that we've seen have been like life-changing. People really reinvented themselves. And because they now have the opportunity to work on 4 to 5 projects, such as launching the podcast, negotiating their salary at work, taking clients, dating, we really have seen a huge shift for people. So remember, this is what you get. You get the weekly live coaching calls, 90 minutes long. There's a business call every month. You get immediate access to all those videos that I just kind of went through. You get access to in-person events, Slack support, workshops, immediate access to the program, as well as the private podcast with the investment down here. There we go. So either if you already know that you want to secure your spot, do it sooner rather than later because of the bonus, because we have that manifestation call. It's a personalized manifestation call with myself. So you won't be talking to somebody else, you'll be talking to me. And the sooner that you book, you get priority for that call. We will obviously accommodate everybody, but the spots do fill up. So if you know you want to do this, don't wait, secure your spot. If you still have questions, sign up to, schedule your consult call. So on that consult call, what happens is it's just one-on-one, you and I, we show up and I learn about what your goals are, what you're currently struggling with. And then from there, I'll tell you how I think the program can help. Like we can even kind of figure out what your first courage project might be. We can talk a little bit about the manifestation thing, but I really would rather have the bonus call for that manifestation portion. So if you have been eyeing this, again, between the 10% donation to the organization, the Young Center, as well as just the timing of we're literally halfway through 2025, right? It's not too late to change the year around. It's not too late. If the first 6 months of the year didn't go your way, you can change that and it doesn't have to take long. There's also another bonus. So if you are like, yep, I know I want to join and I'm ready to do this, there's actually a pay in full bonus. So if you do pay in full, you get 1 week of one-on-one support from me through an app called Voxer. This is where you and I can voice note, we can message back and forth. It's like having me in your back pocket. I've sold this in the past for $1,999 and you get this free. You totally don't have to do this, but Jenny, I'll schedule a consult call. Thank you, Erica. Great, yay, I'm excited to speak with you. You should see it there on the Courage Driven Latina page. Underneath the payment options, it says like schedule your consult call. You can do that too. Yay, I look forward. All right, so I just want to go over some questions. And if you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. And then I'm going to be looking at those as well. So one of the questions I get is, wait, what if I miss a meeting? Like, if I'm going to invest in this, I want to like make the most of it. I hear you. This is why we made the program a year long, because reality is you're going to take vacations. You might be sick. Life might begin to life, right? So this is why we extended the program, but every meeting is recorded and uploaded onto the private podcast. So I actually had somebody who joined the program and she worked every time we had our meetings, which are Tuesday evenings. So, because she worked, I think, like at a preschool. So what she would do is like a couple days later on Thursday morning on her way to work, she would listen to the meetings and she still got results. Okay, does this work for me if I don't want to start a business? Yes, this is not specific for business. You obviously don't have to join the business coaching calls, those are optional. If you decided one day to start a business, you're going to have resources and whatnot there. And then does this work for me if I already have a business? Yeah, I think Rebecca's the best example, right? She already had a six-figure marketing agency. And this program not only helped her like double her revenue from that business, but it also ended up with her starting another business because of the work she did inside the program. So, Courage Driven Latinas for you if you are looking to level up in your career. So, maybe you want to show up at work knowing that you bring value, advocating for yourself, setting boundaries, or you want to transition to a more aligned industry. But your current situation is keeping you overworking. You are keeping your head down. Maybe you're burnt out and you're thinking about quitting without a plan. It's also for you, which is where kind of most of you fell into if you've always dreamt about starting or growing a business that changes lives, but you've been telling yourself you can't do it until you have another degree, certification, or do more research. If you want to build confidence, did I skip one? Content there. I was like, I skipped one. If you wanted to create content, whether it's an Instagram page, a podcast, a book, and you really want to inspire change and educate your community, but the thing that's stopping you is perfectionism and you're overthinking. You are stopping yourself from putting yourself out there because there's this fear of like being seen. This is also a good program for you if you want to build unshakable confidence and self-trust, regardless of what anybody thinks or says about you, and you really want to live your purpose. However, yeah, you're always worried about what people are going to say. So the bonus ends on the 16th. So remember, you get a one-on-one manifestation call with me. On this call, I'm going to help you clarify what it is you want to work on. I'm going to help you pick your courage project. We're going to create your 90-day manifestation map for your first 90 days in the program. And then you also got the pay in full bonus. That one is 1 week of one-on-one support with me through an app called Voxer. You'll have me in your back pocket. This in itself is also between the two bonuses, like that is even worth the program. So here's some of the amazing community, some of the in-person events we've had, and some of the alums include, if you're thinking like, okay, am I going to fit into this? Will I feel welcomed? Well, we've had moms, dog moms, non-moms, stay-at-home moms, nonprofit workers, lawyers, tech workers, aspiring business owners, advanced business owners, people not interested in business, introverts, extroverts, people who didn't go to college, people who are getting their PhD, social media influencers. Yes, I just saw the questions in the chat. I'm going to answer them right now. Social media influencers, and then people who don't do social media. And you're probably wondering, like, this makes no sense, Erica. Why is everybody so different? And the thing is that this program is supporting you and helping you manifest your dream life through giving you the structure you need to get it done, overcoming fear, giving you accountability. It doesn't matter what your goal is exactly. What matters is we know the steps to help you get unstuck and get to where it is that you want to go. And no matter who you are, you need to learn the skill of courage. And that's exactly what we help you do. Um, Great, Evita. I'm excited to speak with you. And then how often are the in-person events? So Nancy, those kind of pop up depending on my travel. What I've done recently is, Nancy, remind me where you're located. You can just put it in the chat or you can unmute, whatever you like.
Hi, I'm in Stanislaus County in Modesto, near Modesto area.
Okay, so for you, it would probably be when I do a meetup in the Bay Area. So that's actually what I've been doing a lot lately. So I was just in LA visiting my brother and we did a meetup there. And now I'm going back to the LA area and I'm going to do a meetup with San Diego. But the one after that is going to be probably Bay Area. So we may do like Walnut Creek or Oakland or something like that. And then those ones are usually like we'll meet up and then I'll do some like in-person coaching depending on the setup. Like if we get a cafe to host us, then I'll do a little workshop. But if not, it's mainly like let's get you all to meet in person because this program was born during the pandemic. We obviously couldn't do that then. But now there's a big demand for like, wait, I want to meet people in person. I want to know who's around here. So that's what we do for that. So I'm thinking probably like probably late August or early September for the Bay Area.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And those ones are free, by the way. Those are just for my clients. You don't have to, it's just more again about building community. Unless we put on like a conference, right, where we have speakers, that's obviously different, but the in-person events are usually for clients. Okay, y'all, remember, here's what you get: the weekly live coaching calls, one business call a month, the videos that I went through a second ago, access to the in-person events, the meetups, you get Slack support, the worksheets that are inside of the portal as well as you get my feedback, right, on these worksheets. So you can submit them and I look at them and I give you feedback. So there's no guesswork of, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? What's happening here? You'll get immediate feedback from me. And my feedback is usually like very loving, but it's also direct. Like, okay, all right, we're playing small here, right? Or like, I'm good at poking at things without making you feel bad about anything because the fact that we're taking action is great. But I think what also happens is, you're all here because you're like, okay, Erica has something to teach. And I know I have a proven framework. I have so many client results. So I believe in me. But the thing is, I also believe in you all. The question now is, do you believe in you? And that's usually where people get stuck. That's usually where the doubt comes in. But I want you to know that you just simply have not had the guidance to help you get to where you want to go. But it is possible. I've seen it happen over and over. All right, you also get immediate access, private podcast. That was like a side little rant. So, some more questions. What if I don't want to post on social media? You totally don't have to post on social media. You don't even have to watch the social media workshop. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. What if I don't have a ton of time? I work full time and I'm a mom. This program is not meant to have you working 15 hours a week. The opposite. This program is meant to help you cut down on the time that you spend on or that you invest on your dream life and on your dream project because we're really good at helping you cut out the things that aren't making a difference. We're really good at helping you come up with a very specific plan to help you reach your goal in the fastest way rather than just keeping you busy because busy is not productive. Okay, what if I don't know what my goal is or what my courage project is? Well, besides the bonus call, which will give you a ton of clarity, there's also the first sections of videos inside of the portal are meant to help you find clarity. Another question, do programs like this really work? I am really fortunate to say that the 275 women I've had in this program have never ever asked for a refund. I've had one person ask me if they could take a break because they had a medical situation. So they took a break and they came back later. But I have, between my lived experience and all the people that I've coached, the framework really does work. And this isn't just like a course where you're like, here you go, good luck, let's see how it goes. No, this is the weekly check-ins, the coaching calls, the community, the accountability that's built in. The only way this doesn't work for you is if you choose you don't want it to work and you don't show up. Because if you don't show up, we can't help you. If you show up, you are going to be helped and you will get results. And it will not be as difficult or complicated as you've made it seem in your mind. Usually when I interview people who've asked me this question, like they'll ask me this question at the beginning, and then I interview them because they are like a success story. And they'll say, my only regret was not joining when I first found the program. Like I was waiting and waiting. And when I finally joined, I was like, I should have done this sooner. Will this work for me if I'm just getting started? Totally, totally. Will this work for me if I'm older? Yeah. So actually, some of our best success stories are they're actually grandmothers. So Rebecca's a grandmother. I've got another girl named Miriam. I didn't feature her in this presentation, but she ended up creating a group coaching program, having in-person events. She's based out of Seattle. She's also a grandma. And they you would never know they're grandmothers, right? But like these women are wise, and what I find is that they actually took action much faster because they've lived life. They don't care that much what other people think. So it actually works really well. Or even if you've already created a whole career and you're trying to do something totally different, great fit. I've tried other programs, but I didn't see the results I was looking for. How do I know that this one will work? I kind of answered this just a second ago. I've been getting a lot of these messages where people are like, "Hey, I invested in this, but it wasn't what I was looking, or I'm sorry, it really disappointed me, and now I'm afraid of investing." Being completely honest, I've been in that situation too. There's a lot of programs that I've invested in that I was like, probably shouldn't have made that investment. And some of them were pretty big. But the reason that this program is different is because there's a step-by-step curriculum, there's a proven framework, there's so many ways to get support, and it's also culturally relevant, right? This isn't like some program that doesn't understand the different cultural challenges you've gone through. And not just through me, but through the other women in the program as well. The beautiful thing is that because everybody's working on different projects, you also see different versions of projects that you can also do. So I've had people join the program and they see somebody working on a specific type of business and they're like, "Oh, I didn't even know you could do that. That's what I want to do." So there's many reasons that this program will work for you, but just to keep it short for now, proven framework, real results from over 275 women, as well as the cultural relevance. Courage driven at the end is for you if you are successful on paper, but you feel like something's missing. So you're like, okay, my life, I can't complain, but I know, like, if you have this knowing that there's something else there for you. It's also for you if you identify as the black sheep in your family or your friend group, or if you're tired of overthinking, where you're to this point where you're like, I'm over myself. I'm so over going into this like same spiral. Or you know that you were meant for something bigger, even if you don't know exactly what that is yet. Or if you have too many interests and you're not sure which one to focus on. Or maybe you know what you want to do, but you're not sure how. You're not sure how to get there, so you struggle with overthinking and have a hard time taking action. Or maybe you had some life changes, right? Like maybe you became a mom, or maybe you, your company did layoffs and you're like, I don't even know who I am anymore, what I want anymore. Or maybe you've outgrown your friend groups and you're looking for a community that like really gets what you want to do. They get where you're going and they inspire you. So do not wait. Sign up at couragedrivenlatina.com. Again, the sooner you sign up and secure your spot, we can book your manifestation call, your personalized manifestation call, and you'll get first dibs on that calendar. And then you can also schedule your call from there too. So if you're like, okay, I know I want to do this, Erica, but I have questions, then you can go to couragedrivenlatina.com, schedule your call. Don't wait until later. Just get it on the calendar right now. Or if you know that you want to sign up, then secure your spot by going to couragedrivenlatina.com. Oh, this is one of my favorite questions. How can I justify this to my partner or husband? So, it's so funny because I've met a lot of my clients' partners, and I had one specific client partner who, and I'll make this quick because I'm aware I'm like jumping into a story, but he was like, "What are you going to go pay money to find friends?" And like, just Google what you need to do. And she talked to him and she's like, "Look, I've Googled, I've tried. This is something that's really important to me. I'm just asking for your support." So we ended up saying yeah. And then the client joined, and this is before, it wasn't even a year long. The program was only 12 weeks long. She got such great results that her husband was like, "You should join again." She joined again, and then actually, I'm sorry, they were just boyfriend and girlfriend. Then they got married. And then I met him in person, and he was like, "Erica, I just have to tell you, at first, I was the blocker. I was telling her not to join your program. And then I was the one that was convincing her to rejoin. And I don't know if Bianca's still here. Oh yeah, Bianca's still here. The same thing happened with Bianca. She's in the program as well. So yeah, and then he was like, "But I just want to thank you so much. Like ever since she's been in your program, she's just been nicer to me." And I think it really is just that you're taking action towards something that's really meaningful to you. So you're going to feel more fulfilled. You're going to learn tools that are going to help you overcome your doubt. You're really just going to be the most elevated version of yourself. So by justifying this to your partner, there's a few different ways you can say this. You can say, "Hey, like this is really important to me. I'm asking for your support." Or, "Hey, that thing I've been wanting to do, I'm actually going to have a group of people to help me do that with a coach and a step-by-step curriculum. You're not going to hear me talk about it anymore. I won't have to complain to you about it." Or, those work situations, now I'll have a place to go. Many ways of justifying it. So if this is your situation, you can even book a call. We can come up with a plan. If you want to bring your partner onto the call, we can do that too. All right, so next question. Is this a course or is it live coaching? How do we get support? Yes, it's a course so that you can access it whenever you want. Yes, it's live coaching to make sure you get personalized support and that I can help you where you're at. It's all of the above. All of the above. I want to join, but I'm already in another program. A lot of people in the program are usually in other programs as well. Because this program is really about helping you get to your goals in the fastest way and helping you build the skill of courage, it complements other programs really well. I've even had somebody who joined the program and they were like, "Oh, I had already signed up for an investing course." Her first project literally became finishing the investing course and like practicing the courage to act on what she learned. So it will not conflict with other programs, and quite the opposite. It's going to help. So if this has resonated with you, go to couragedrivenlatina.com. Don't delay it. I know it can be really easy to be like, "Oh, I'll do that later." Either schedule your call or secure your spot. I'm still here to answer questions. This is officially the Q&A, so I know I had a bunch of Q&A here, but if anybody has specific questions. Oh, quick question. I think you answered, but I forgot what. Yeah. Thank you so much, team. I appreciate it. Yeah. So the weekly coaching calls are every Tuesday from 5 to 6:30. The monthly business coaching calls are Wednesdays at 11 a.m. And then the like workshops, whenever I do like pop-up workshops, like the next one we're doing is a manifestation one. That one's sometimes we'll do it Saturday morning. We record it and we put it in the portal. So even if you can't make it live, you won't miss anything. Don't you just love technology from that perspective? You can just like rewatch things, just like you can rewatch this presentation. All right. So yeah, does anybody have questions? Hi, Flaca. How's your baby girl?
I had to hop off because I'm over here like direct messaging people in the background. But I'm like, you know what? Let me get off and do my testimonial real quick. Because I'm like, some of you are asking, like, what was your project? I had way too many, I feel. But I essentially eventually got them all done. But Erica, like everything, your framework. But I have to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, Erica, I think I was one of the most like consistent. I was present, I was participating. Every single person that you've mentioned through the entire presentation, like I'm very connected with Olivia, Anai, like we're besties already, all over the place. But my project, I don't
You
I
had
don't know what to say that I started with. I guess, getting out of depression, honestly.
Yeah, that was your first one. And then it was creating content, and then it was launching your coaching business.
Yep. And now I know I might be saying this too soon, but I'm actually launching a podcast.
How exciting!
You mentioned it to me before, and that's why I'm considering coming back just to
Yeah,
see that accountability and get it done. So
we have a resign bonus. So it's
I'll be with you. Yes.
yeah, so send me a DM because if you join again, you actually get I'll tell you privately, but you get a lot more access. And then Bianca, I don't know if you met Bianca, but she's on here as well, but she resigned and she got that bonus.
I thought Bianca's picture looked familiar. I was like, why?
Yeah, her and her husband started a wealth management firm, and that's like what she's working on now. Super
And
excited.
I had the hubby trouble too, everyone. He was like, this is ridiculous. She's not even in Texas because I'm in Dallas. And I was like, but I really need this. Like, I need the community. And then he was the one making me show up to calls.
I remember that. Yay.
I just
And
wanted
then
to share.
in Flaca, you had like some life stuff came up for you too, and you had to take a break for a couple months, and you still did everything that.
I got pregnant through IVF and got the courage because of your program. And that's why I needed to take the break, because I started injecting myself with all the hormones and everything. And now baby girl is here. She's a preemie of 5 weeks. She was born looking like Thanos, so her breathing was off.
Oh
But
man.
that self-coaching, Erica, I was like, no, what's positive about this? They're gonna check her out and they're gonna bring her to me, and it worked. It just has been miracles for me.
Oh, good. I'm so happy to hear that. Well, we definitely miss you in the program. We do. I'm happy to hear everything's going well. So yeah, for those of you who are like, I want to talk to Erica, book a call with me. If you're like, I'm not sure if I want to talk to Erica yet, reach out to Flaca, reach out to Bianca. These are women that have been in the program. Bianca's back in the program. They can tell you about their firsthand experience with it. Ana Victoria, yeah, don't worry. The program is, if you pay in full, there's a bonus where you get coaching with me for a week, and that like one-on-one coaching. And the pay in full is 2,222. Or if you want to do the payments, it's 5 payments of 444. So it ends up being the same amount. The incentive, I guess, for like paying in full is, one, you get the 1 week of coaching with me, but also because I'm donating 10% of the sales to the immigrant children's rights, that means that $222 would go to them. So that would be the benefits. All right, I'm going to jump off of live. For those of you on live, if you just go to couragedrivenlatina.com, or you can just comment join CDL down below. I'll send you the link, so that even if you're watching the replay, that's fine. I'll send you the link so you can schedule a call with me or secure your spot, because we do have a 48-hour bonus. Thanks for joining me on live. I'm going to finish over here on Zoom. All right, I know some people have already booked calls. I'm so excited to talk to you all. I want to make sure you all have time that works for you on the calendar. So I'm just looking to make sure there's still spots available. Okay, Erica, I see your call come through. Okay, so I see Jenny's call. I see Erica's call. I see that's a different Valeria. Sounds good, Ana Victoria. And thank you, Flaca, for spreading the word, and Bianca. Lalo, I think you're asking if I have any male clients. I do. In private coaching, I do have male clients. And then it sounds good, Valeria. I'm glad that you joined. If you all like want to ask me a question privately, you can DM me as well. Sometimes the DMs go to like hidden messages. So I'd rather you book a call. That way we can see each other, and like I could really explain what you get out of the program. Lalo, I do. I do. Oh, awesome, Janet. Thank you so much for sharing with your daughter. That sounds great.
When you're saying Janet, because my government name's Janet,
Yeah,
I
it
think
is.
you're talking to me, but then I'm like, there's another Janet here. Love it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you
Amazing.
soon.
All right. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. Go to couragedrivenlatina.com to secure your spot or book a call. Doors do not stay open for a long time. They stay open for about a week. So don't delay. If this is something that you want to do, now's the time. Thank you so much for joining me this week. Make sure to visit theericacruz.com. That's Erica with a K, where you can subscribe to the show so you'll never miss an episode. You can help this podcast grow by supporting me with an Apple Podcast rate and review. If you took anything away from this episode, I invite you to take a screenshot and share it on social media so that your favorite badass Latinas can also check it out. Be sure to tag me at the Erica Cruz. That's Erica with a K, because you know I want to see it. If you're ready to join the revolution and be a part of the Courage Driven Latina community, visit couragedrivenlatina.com to get more information and join the waitlist. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week.